So I received just an absolute box full of drones from GearBest, and I'm going to be taking a look at all of them over time. But of the three that are actually in here, the first one I think I would like to check out is sort of the big daddy of them all. Today we're going to take a look at the JJRC H11WH. I will start off by saying I know very, very little about this thing. GearBest literally sent me an email and said, here are some of the new ones we have, do you want to try them out? And these are the ones that showed up. But taking a look at the box, it mentions Wi-Fi. It actually shows a phone being used with the controller, so it looks like it's going to do FPV video using your phone. It has a 3.7 volt, 1100 milliamp hour battery, so pretty decent sized battery. You've got a bunch of things here on the side that it will tell you that it does, so 6-axis gyro, CF mode, 1-button automatic return, remote adjustment of the camera, and altitude position hold, which is a nice feature to have. Some info on here about remotely adjusting the angle of the camera, which is very interesting to see. How you'd install the phone and how you can replace motors on it. But without any further ado, let's just open the box, take a look at the quadcopter, take it out for a flight. Hidden down in the side there was the instruction manual. It has links here for the different apps you can use. Videocopter from the Apple App Store, Videocopter for Android, presumably just an APK file, Videocopter on Google Play, and a smattering of Chinese and English mixed together. But there's your layout of the remote control. So feel free to pause the video here if maybe you've got this quadcopter and you've lost your manual and you need to know how it all works. But then there's the contents of the package. So there's a box over here. This would presumably be the camera. It says Wi-Fi 720p on it. Now I will say that's a decent amount of packaging for one little camera module, but there you go. You've got prop guards, which I'm not going to use. Looks like 4 spare props and 4 legs and a screwdriver. Here's the controller. Actually very nice layout, and everything is labeled. I am a gigantic fan of this. So speed control over here, rollover 3D flips over here. It mentions tuning, and apparently this is turning the camera up and down, so this will be used for adjusting your angle. Reset, start, stop, CF mode, that's the headless mode, the 1-key return, on-off switch, photo and video, and then this flips up to a couple of angles actually, and you can pull this out to stick your phone up in there. And then on the back, 3 AAA batteries are going to be necessary. And last but certainly not least is the quadcopter itself. Oh, actually with some secrets underneath. This would appear to be another pad, probably a pad for the camera just to give it some more stabilization, with a bunch of screws, and the USB charging cable, and then the quadcopter. So you've got this nice matte black and red finish. This thing, which appears to be a fake GPS module, kind of looks like what you would have on the back of a larger drone. Some LEDs around the sides, both sides. Red LED bar here in the front. Pretty decent length props. They're not the biggest ones I've ever seen, obviously, but what, 4 or 5 inches, something like that. Looks like the motors would be pretty easy to replace as well. And then underneath, that's where the battery's gonna live. So you just have a JST connector with an 1100 milliamp hour 3.7 volt battery right there. And then presumably the camera will just go right in here, slide it in place, and it should, no, it didn't even click, it's just in there. Then your little plug should just go in right over here. Now this does bring up one really obvious thing. You're gonna want to have the legs installed. I was kind of hoping to avoid installing the legs because realistically, look at that profile. If you didn't have the camera on there, this thing is sleek, it's slim, but when you put big old landing legs on there, like this, the slim, sleek profile is not quite so slim or sleek anymore. Now if we go ahead and plug the battery in, close everything up. You've got blue LEDs in the rear, green on the sides, and then red in the front. Kind of seems backward, kind of feels backwards, but to each their own, I suppose. All right, battery's installed. Power it on. It seems to be paired up now. I've got the app installed on my phone. Well, I haven't connected to the Wi-Fi yet, but I did find out when I push the button, you can see it does change the angle, going as far as facing straight down. Now, unfortunately, this did not seem to come with a micro SD card, so I'm gonna have to put one in, but that's not a big deal. Well, I saw a new access point pop up. It was called MDL something, and apparently, yeah, that was the right one. So the app is working. The app is just called Videocopter. So I went into it and I hit normal play. I'm gonna go ahead and put my phone in the little mounting bracket here. So now I can see what's going on. There you can see me now, kind of. It's running a little bit slow, but not bad, not bad. And you know what, at this point, I think we're about ready to go ahead and take it out and fly it. But before I do that, I know you guys say it's not necessary anymore, it shouldn't be a problem or anything. I'm gonna go ahead and just run this through one battery because it's not gonna hurt anything to do that. And hopefully when I hit start and stop on this, it's not just gonna take off, because if it does, it's gonna hit a lot of equipment and that's gonna stink. So we'll hit start and stop. Okay, so it's just sitting there. So I'm just gonna leave it sitting here, let it run, maybe pay attention to how long it's been running, and then we'll go outside and do a flight with it.
And we're outside with this drone. I've tried several times to fly this, and I think this actually has a bad motor, unfortunately. As you can see, I'm not touching it, and it's listing to the left. I'll pull it back. I've tried again several times, and it's quirky all around. Now this is in first rate, so let's go ahead and spin around a little. As you can see, it is kind of listening and I'm just touching it like that. Second rate, spin, third rate spin, doesn't make a difference at all. So we are now in the third rate. Let's see how fast it goes. It's got some decent forward and backward pitch. And it does keep its own altitude. That's got the built-in altitude hold, a really nice feature. And I mean, in terms of just general performance, I think if we took the landing legs off and if I had 4 good functional motors, it would actually be a really fun flyer. It looks like it would be just a little bit more fun without all that extra stuff on it. And actually it does seem to be spinning a little bit faster. Yeah, it does spin slightly faster to the right than to the left, but that's probably due to that motor. Let's see if it'll do a flip. Yeah, it doesn't want to, and that's probably because the camera's attached. Unfortunate again, but having a bad motor will probably not help it much. Let's see about the CF mode, the headless mode. So it's returning. Take it out there and... oh, it's in headless mode now, so... yeah, it's in headless mode and it's trying, but its motor is so rough that it's having problems. I think we're out of that mode now, and maybe you saw it shudder there. It's not holding in place. But either way, I think with a good motor, this could be a very nice, very fun quad. Halfway decent battery life. It's about 7 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that. We'll see here in just a second. It's just bad motor again. And the funny thing is, I've been doing these videos and I've had so many people tell me you don't need to burn the motors in, and then even when I do, they end up damaged. So it's either that they're just coming damaged or I'm just too rough on them. And this one was damaged out the gate. It worked exactly like this from the first time I turned it on. It doesn't seem to have a whole lot of oomph. Like it doesn't want to stay in the air. And this is a freshly charged battery. Yeah, as long as I only do right-hand turns, this thing is a whole lot of fun. But my experience with JJRC is that they're generally better as sporty flyers than as camera quads. And I think this one's actually no exception. The altitude hold, I'm not a huge fan of that, but it seems to be getting the job done. And the fact that I've got at least one motor that's in trouble, that's what's hurting me. But all in all, not a bad little quad. I mean, I think the price on it was $40 or $50 on GearBest, so I'll put a link to where you can find that down below if you're interested in checking it out. And there we're flashing now, and that's at 5.5 minutes. And I'm completely hands-free, and the throttle hold is keeping it up, which is nice. Yeah, it's definitely very fast and performant, as long as I'm not trying to turn left. And that's about it. It's been about 7 minutes, 30 seconds. So honestly, I would say definitely worth checking out. If you can get one that has all 4 motors good, pretty sure this is the one that's bad on mine. Unfortunate. But if you take off the camera and you take off the landing legs, just look how small that profile would be. That's a whole lot of fun to fly. So thanks so much to GearBest for sending this out for me to take a look at. I've got at least one more for them to take a look at soon, so be on the lookout for that. But that's all for today. Leave a thumbs up if you liked the video, subscribe to receive more, and we will see you next time.